Hey you guys, I'm back. It's been a month since the last art devlog, and I'm doing my best to like keep on top of these things. Time kind of sneaks away like on you between these videos. So like this time, I don't really have too much to cover, but I do have a lot of I guess, well, I don't have too much to cover yet, right? But within the last month, I've done a lot of a lot of studying. So recently I've been finding that whenever I try to go for bigger compositions, or I guess you could say sketches, where I have these characters or these kind of droid Spartan looking characters, and when I say Spartan I mean like Halo or like Destiny, something like that, something along those lines. um Most of the time I wish I kind of could put these guys in like some kind of background or something that kind of tells a little bit of a story. And it's really hard to do that when you can only mainly draw the upper body of a character, right? And so like I've been trying to focus more on like how do I want to go about coloring things. So this was like one of the first times that I seriously sat down, and I think I spent like a couple hours on this. I don't know, um, but yeah, I spent basically a lot of time just trying to look back and look at like how other concept artists how they go about coloring their things, and what do I like from specific concept artists that I can maybe pit into one, you know. And so far, like, I still haven't really found that, but this is basically what I came out with, and I'm pretty happy with it. There's a lot of things that I'd change, probably, is like going back in and like those, like the little areas that have these like blobs. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Let me check real quick, because that'd be a little awkward, because this whole part of the video would literally just be pointless. Okay, let me see. Okay, so these little parts right here, I kind of would go back in and just kind of clean those up. I did that for the most part in the helmet visor, but like in the helmet area, but like eventually it started looking too clean, so I just went through and added like little scratches and stuff like that here and there, and I kind of like how it came out. It looks good from like when you zoom it out, though. I mean, it looks pretty decent, so I was pretty happy with this one. And this one was on June the 2nd. Keep in mind, like, I'm pretty sure I made my last art log last month, and the craziest part about it is like time is moving so slow right now. So like I looked at my YouTube channel, I was like, man, it's probably been a couple months since my last art log, and it turns out it's only been a month, which is crazy to me. I just don't get that. But yeah, so that's basically what I have for that day. And I think on the same day I started trying to, oh wait, are these, I think I have two things saved under the same thing. So in the same day, or maybe at the end of the day, I just figured, okay, I'm gonna start by just drawing something just with a big brush, just get the outside of it in, and just kind of try a different method of coming up with something as far as like design and color. Like I'm just trying to like see where I stand right now and understand, like, and in the middle of this, I'm also probably after this video gonna start looking more into ways to study color that work for me. As far as anatomy, like I've been doing a metric shit ton of like studies in my sketchbook, and it's really shown. And there's this one book, I don't know if like anyone's actually watching this, but there's this book that I found through a channel called ZHC. It's basically like the freaking Mr. Beast of the art community. I just say he's that. But I found this book called Figure Drawing Design and Invention by Michael Hampton, and this book has helped me so much. And I've only read like, I think I'm on page 50 right now, out of like, I want to say like 200, yeah, 250 pages maybe. And the way that I go through the book is, I'll talk about that stuff later, because I mean, it probably doesn't really matter too much. But basically, yeah, I just wanted to see like how far I could take things without like spending super long amounts of time on them. So like this one, probably I spent 6 hours. Like, holy shit, I was gonna say like a couple. So now that I've looked at that, and this says 6 hours, I probably spent way more than 2 hours on the last one that I showed. So like that just goes to show where I am in terms of coloring. And a lot of the time it's not like a steady line in the direction towards something being rendered, right? It's like I'm going from this single point of starting it, and I'm like going in all these different directions, and I'm like, oh shit, like that doesn't work. So I just go all the way back to the first point, and then I go in this direction for this amount of time, you know. And it's just kind of trying to figure out like what my my method is going to be and how I tackle coloring and texturing and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to look back on this video one day and just be cringing my ass off. Like that's almost how it always is, especially when you're, you know, developing a skill like art. I don't want to like shit on anybody that's at this level though. Like you just have to stay on the bus, keep going in the same direction, and eventually you'll branch off and find your own voice. And I found that from, you know, watching another video. So yeah. So that's what I had for that. And then with this one, I basically tried a different style. I mean, it's the same style essentially, but it's a little bit more simplistic. And I kind of like this is one of the first sketches that I kind of like. And I'm not talking about the lower body, okay? Like the lower body can definitely use some help. I don't know, like, and that's one of my main reasons for studying anatomy so hard lately, because it was after this drawing that I realized like, okay, like this would actually benefit me a shit ton, and I've been putting it off for the last 2 years, so I need to tackle this like right now, because up to now, like I've been kind of just eyeing things. Whenever I see like Pinterest posts of like people in armor and stuff like that, I'll normally like kind of borrow the pose and like twist and bend things in the way that favors me, like what looks right to me. So basically I've just been kind of going off of things looking right, but like obviously when you take a step back for a couple hours or even like a couple minutes, you'll look back at it and it'll be completely different. So like I don't know, it's really hard to explain with my level of understanding that I have right now. But anyways, yeah, so this one, like the lower body, I don't want to say I'm too proud of, but the upper body I'm very, very happy with. I'm happy with the design, I'm happy with the color. Obviously the color can use some work. I'll just say that. I don't want to go shitting on my art every time I make a video, right? But I feel like that's how all artists kind of feel sometimes, where you get to the point where you start to realize how many things you don't understand, and it's really hard not to kind of like diss your own work. So like I'll just try not to like do that in my videos as much as possible, because it's always annoying when I go and watch someone else's video, or like I watch a sketchbook tour or something, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really like this sketch. I'm like, dude, that would have took me like 4 hours, like and it looks like I don't know, it's whatever. Yeah, so this is the first version of that character that I drew, and I really dig the armor design in this one. Like I love it, you know, the upper body at least. Like god damn it. And then I made like a second variant. I didn't really like the chest area too much, and then I just turn around and do the same thing. But I there's something about the chest area that I kind of feel like it feels a little flat, and I'm still doing research as far as like how to kind of counter that. But overall, I like this design too. You know, I pretty much like all of my designs, and that's not to like sound cocky or anything like that. But generally, like, or at least most of the time, by time I'm like I call a drawing finished, it's normally because I like where it's at, and I just don't want to spend too much time not like making any efficient progress on like what I'm drawing. I don't know if I said that right either, but I've just lately I've been trying to expand my vocabulary. You know, like just because your boy's from the hood, you know, like we don't use words like this all the time. So like I'm just trying to like, you know, come from a like better place, like to sound a little bit more educated, you know. Like I don't want to be drawn, you know, and not being able to explain things. So like I've been putting a lot of time into watching podcasts and like reading books and all that stuff, and whenever I come across the word that I don't understand, you know, you just look that shit up real quick, you know, and then but yeah, I pretty much like this design. It's pretty good. And then I also tried to do the background. So this is where this one comes. Wait, this one. No, not that one. Or maybe it is this one. No, it can't be, right? Because then I would. Here, we'll just close it. I'll just close it and then open it back up. That way it's just not like all messed up. I hope it's not fucked. Okay, so, and this was essentially like what I came up with the first time that I tried to draw like a background for it. And I wouldn't say it's super bad, but I wouldn't say it's good either. You know, it's kind of like a nice spot in between where, like, minus the color, I feel like I did a pretty decent job at like some of the things, right? But when you start adding color, that's when you start to have to take into consideration, okay, like what kind of shadows would this shape make on this shape, and how would the light react to that, you know? And that's a lot of things that I haven't been studying necessarily as much as I should be. So for that, I plan to just take one of my empty sketchbooks from college and just fill that thing up with a whole bunch of shading studies and stuff like that. And then I also, this is obviously like when I kind of got hit where, like, okay, like from here it's gonna be literally like the same poses, or they're gonna look super stiff if I don't like look into anatomy. So I said, you know, pardon my French, but I was just like, you know, fuck it, like I'm just gonna go find this book. This book cost me $24, by the way, and I know you guys can't see it, but I'll probably have like a picture of it on the screen or something like that. So if you are interested in like pursuing, like, you know, going to buy the book, you know, you're getting the right one. Yeah, like I've just been, because I had this sketchbook that I started, and I told myself, you know, this is gonna be the anatomy sketchbook, and someday I'll be able to show this to you guys. My phone is just really crappy, so like, you know, and I don't really prioritize like a really good phone over, like, you know, something like a second monitor where I can work easier, right? But I started this sketchbook on May the 5th in 2018 from drawing a car in front of my house that wasn't ours. But I did that, and it was at that moment that I kind of realized how many things like that I need to be studying. I could barely draw like a bush, right? You know, so like it was just so much that I saw that I needed to work on. And from there, I started, you know, doing a lot of gesture drawings, but obviously in the beginning, it was just kind of stiff. And one good tip that I would give to anyone that's trying to pursue, you know, like a better understanding when it comes to anatomy is to find out what works for you. You know, there's so many different methods out there that holy shit, that is a fucking huge bug. My God, that thing has like 1,000 legs, bro. All right, I'm just gonna scoot back in my chair while I okay, just focus. Okay, so God damn it, that thing is so huge, and it's like right on the ceiling above where I'm at, kind of. What was I saying? Yeah, there's so many methods out there that are so different, you know, and you have to figure out what works for you. And the way that you do that is you just try a little bit of each one and see how it makes you feel. And kind of measure how much you improve using that specific method. I'm talking while staring this thing in the eyes, like it's such a creepy looking like bug. But just try to figure out like what works for you and what complements what you know already the most, I would say. And it's really hard to say like specifically like this is exactly how you would do this, but I think that with being a little bit self-conscious of how you want to learn things, it's definitely beneficial, because I bought some courses on Udemy. I bought one course on Udemy that was about like, you know, character art and stuff like that. I think it's definitely like, depending on what it is, when it comes to Udemy, like and art, I think there's definitely like, I haven't put too much money into Udemy to know, but like it feels like it's way more worth to buy a book, like a $20 or like $30 book on anatomy or something like that, than buying like a course on it. Because what the course will do is they'll give you like a little bit of homework and stuff like that, but essentially you're getting like $15 worth of like you know, knowledge. Really, it's not so much skill, because you can take a book where like they explain everything thoroughly and there's pictures and stuff like that, and you can kind of like, the thing that I like about this book mainly is the fact that like through the book, like it's showing you like, okay, this is how like you want your sketches to look, kind of, before you go forward. Like you should at least have something that imitates or looks a little bit like this before you know, go learning other things in the book. And I think that was just perfect. Like it, even if it like looks like that, you know, you kind of, from there you'll kind of realize that you're on the right path. And whenever I read like a couple pages, like I've read 50 pages or went through 50 pages, like it's always important to make sure that you're actually soaking in that information. And there was something that I learned from Jordan Peterson. I mean, I feel like anybody watches that guy every now and then, right? But if you're like interested in stuff like that. But what he said is like, and it made sense. Like when it comes to studying, you kind of want to just read or listen to a professor, you know, while they're going over the things, and then after they're done, start writing things down. And that exercises your memory, you know, that it's like it exercises your ability to remember these things. And not only that, but like things that you don't quite remember specifically, those are the things that you want to go back and ask them. And even then, like, or whoever's asking, like teaching you, I guess, and even then you still want to like try not to write it down while they're telling you, kind of write it down after they tell you. And then hell, if you're feeling like good at that point, like I think it's good to like after you've basically listened to what they said, go back and see if you got everything down correctly, you know. That's a really nice way to study, and it's super helpful. And the last thing that I would say is oh yeah, and regarding my sketchbook, like I said, like I started this thing at 2018 May 5th, and I'm just now finishing this thing, and it's only 100 pages, like, and I think I started it back up when I was like halfway through the book. And mind you, like I like to do like front and back of the pages. Like I don't like to just do, unless I'm using like some really strong ink or something that would bleed through the page. Normally I'll just go back and like after I fill the sketchbook one time, I'll flip it over, or I'll go back to the front and then just do all the pages that I didn't do, like on the back of each page. And that way you can kind of compare yourself, how far you've come since that first page, like, and like doing the same thing, like gesture drawing studies, like 90-second or 2-minute or 2.5-minute or 5-minute or 10-minute gesture studies. I recommend personally like 2 minutes. I feel like it's like the perfect in between time, but like sometimes, especially early on, like and I'm still early on, mind you, like I don't know everything, but these are just the kind of things that I've learned so far. But it's in the beginning, time kind of flies because you don't know what you're doing, you know, like, and it's like, where do I, like, you're looking back and forth at the reference, and next thing you know, like, you've been spending more time looking at the reference trying to figure out like how to draw things, and it just gets really confusing. But I'll probably make another video on that, I don't know, when I'm a little bit more experienced to talk about it. How long is this video now too? Like, I don't know how long this video is. 17 fucking minutes, are you shitting me? All right, anyways, I hope you guys learned something new somehow, and I'll see you guys next month. Hopefully I'll have more digital things to show, because right now I don't have a way to actually show my sketchbook. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys are safe during these crazy ass times. I'll catch you guys next month. All right, peace.